After losing his memory for 3 years, Noah finally remembered me. Little did he know that I was already married with a child. He said he could overlook my absence over these past 3 years and let me continue staying by his side. During an interview, the host asked me to call the person I loved most. Sitting below the stage, Noah lifted his phone and gave it a little shake. I made the call, and it was answered instantly. Honey, the baby and I love you too. Elias, holding our daughter in his arms, sat beside Noah and called into the phone. Chapter 1. Noah regained his memory on a night of thunder and pouring rain. They said he missed a step while going downstairs and hit his head. When he woke up from the hospital bed, all his memories had returned. My husband even told me that while he was unconscious, he had called my name more than once. Before I could say anything, my husband Elias spoke up with a hint of unease. Honey, if he really remembers you, you're not going to leave me, are you? I almost laughed in exasperation. What are you talking about? How could I leave you? That's good. Elias let out a sigh of relief. Love you. Honey, Noah seems to be calling for someone. I'll go check on him. Okay, go ahead. As soon as the call ended, Sophia threw herself into my arms, repeating, Daddy, Daddy. I gathered Sophia, my daughter, into my arms and pressed my forehead lightly against hers with a smile. Of course we want Daddy. This is the 3rd year of my marriage, and my daughter is 2 years old. Chapter 2. When my agent, Monica, called me, I was picking out scripts. She said she had negotiated a supporting female lead role for me in a drama called Tanching. The male and female leads were both top-tier stars, and the production had a huge budget, so it would be very carefully made. Monica asked if I wanted the opportunity. I agreed without a second thought, because acting is my dream. Playing different roles and experiencing different lives feels as if I can live all over again. Even though I am only a minor actress, I treasure every opportunity. That evening, Elias came home. The moment he took off his coat, he wrapped his arms around me from behind. His arms tightened around my waist, and I smiled, tilting my head slightly to ask, "What's wrong?" Noah remembered you. Even though he didn't say anything, I feel. Elias paused, then added, "Maybe we should just tell him directly that we're already married." I turned sideways, let my fingers trail across his chest, and blinked. What do you think his reaction would be if he found out I'm with his best friend? Elias caught my mischievous fingers and laughed softly along with me. Whatever reaction he has, let him have it. Ever since the first time I met you, I've never cared. He rested his chin on my shoulder, his warm breath brushing my neck as he murmured, "I love you most." I nudged his chest with my elbow. You say that every day. Don't you get tired of it? Elias shook his head seriously. No, I want to say it for the rest of my life. And only say it to you. I looked into his eyes and saw them filled with love. So devout it was like the faith of a true believer. Night fell, and Sophia woke up too. Elias scooped her into his arms and started playing with her. I stood before the floor-to-ceiling window, watching them, while their laughter kept drifting into my ears. I thought, this is what happiness looks like. Chapter 3. I had not seen Noah for a full 3 years. I had almost forgotten what he looked like, until he appeared in front of me again, and the version in my memory overlapped with the present one. He leaned casually against a black Porsche, and his close-cropped yellow hair was especially eye-catching. The smoke curling up from his fingertips proved how irritated he was at that moment. My instincts told me he had come to find me, but I truly could not imagine what there was left for us to talk about. Noah seemed to hear my footsteps. He crushed the cigarette under his foot and looked straight at me. I did not want to deal with him. I went around him, intending to leave, but he called out to stop me. Don't you have anything to say? I stopped, but did not turn around. Say what? Noah walked up until our eyes met. 3 years had not changed his looks in the slightest. He still had that face capable of stealing hearts. He kicked his car viciously. I know why you're upset. I didn't mean what I said that day. There were so many people there, and I needed to save face. Forget it. I'm sorry. In all these years, this was the first time Noah had ever apologized to me. But apologies are not. No scar can be smoothed over by a single I'm sorry. It was just that I no longer cared. I gave a perfunctory little nod. When Noah saw me nod, the corners of his lips curled up too, as if he thought everything had gone back to the way it used to be. as if I were still that Amelia who let him control me and obeyed his every word. He cleared his throat, tilted his chin up slightly, and said, "How about this? I won't hold those 3 years you were absent against you anymore. Come back and stay by my side again. These 3 years without you, I always felt like something was missing." So after all these twists and turns over 3 years, he had realized I was still the one he found most convenient to use. I let out a cold laugh and was just about to refuse when Noah's phone rang. He cut off what I was about to say, waved a hand at me, and drove away. Chapter 4. That night, I had trouble sleeping, and I started thinking about the past. My mother was a housekeeper in Noah's home when I was 9 years old. She brought me to live at Noah's house. That was the first time I saw Noah. He was wearing a little suit and sitting in front of the piano, like a little prince from a fairy tale, and beautiful music flowed from his fingertips. My mother told me that if I wanted to stay there, I had to listen to Noah. Noah's looks were the complete opposite of his personality. The more stunning his appearance was, the worse his temper was, but he was not a bad person. I had seen him cry over a dead cat, and I had also seen him carry a filthy little puppy to find a doctor. When I was 15, my mother died in a car accident on her way back from buying groceries. It was Noah who let me stay, giving me a place to belong. No one around him could put up with him, and I was the only one who stayed. It was not because I was especially patient. It was because I liked him. I knew his kindness. I do not remember when it started. I only know that when I saw him happy, I was happy too, and when I saw him unhappy, I suffered as well. But my love did not earn Noah's love. All I got was humiliation. I will never forget the look of disgust on his face the moment he found out I liked him. He said, "If you still want to stay by my side, then put away your feelings." And I really did put them away bit by bit. During a gathering in my junior year of college, Noah ordered me to go buy cigarettes for him. After I left, everyone mocked me. They asked Noah how he managed to have a follower like me, loyal like a dog. Noah laughed and said, "Then you can have her. I can get a whole bunch of this kind of thing with just one gesture." Because I had forgotten my phone. When I came back, I happened to hear that sentence in full. The love in my heart was finally worn out by Noah. At last, I was able to stop liking him. After the gathering ended, Noah got into a car accident on the way back. He lost his memory and forgot me completely. Can't sleep? Elias bent over and looked at me. He smiled with a meaningful look. "If you can't sleep, then how about we do something interesting?" I was just about to ask him what he meant when I realized he had already taken all his clothes off without me noticing. I instantly understood what he meant. I glared at him, and the next second his kiss landed on my lips. Chapter 5. I do not know how Noah got my phone number. I had just coaxed my daughter to sleep when I got his call. Before I could even say hello, he spoke on the other end in a drunken voice. "It's me. Is something wrong?" I asked, frowning slightly. "I'm at the bar. Come pick me up." Noah was about to say something else when someone snatched the phone away. Then Elias's voice came through. "Honey, you don't need to pay attention to him. He's drunk. I'll be home in a little while." "Have you been drinking too?" I asked. "Just a little. Don't worry about me. I'll call a designated driver later." I immediately put on my clothes and said in a tone that left no room for refusal, "I'm coming to pick you up right now." Maybe because my mother died in a car accident, I have always had an indescribable fear whenever Elias drives. When I arrived at the bar, I saw Elias and Noah at a glance. Noah was slumped on the sofa, muttering non-stop. Elias waved at me. I walked over and let him hold my fingers. "Honey, why did he drink so much?" Elias shrugged, showing that he had no idea why either. Noah seemed to hear me speaking. He slowly opened his eyes and looked at me. Without saying anything, he reached his hand toward me. Elias reacted faster than I did. He directly placed his own hand into Noah's palm. "All right, hurry up and go to sleep." The next second, Noah closed his eyes again. Elias pulled his hand back out and looked at me. I already called a designated driver for him. "Honey, let's go." I nodded and left with Elias. As the noisy music was shut behind us, Elias quickly kissed my cheek. "My wife came to pick me up today. I'm so happy." I smiled and looked up, only to discover that the moon tonight was round and huge. The first time I met Elias was in my freshman year of college. Noah introduced him to me and said this was his good brother. the one he had grown up with. Except that he later went abroad and had only recently returned. Hello. My name is Amelia. I smiled and shook his hand. Perhaps from that moment on, it was destined that there would be a connection between us. When I was not filming, I would make soup at noon and bring it to Elias. Because Elias's stomach was not very good. Before Elias could finish drinking it, he got called away to a meeting. I had planned to go home, but I did not expect to run into Noah in the parking lot. Noah strode toward me. Why are you here? Then it was as if Noah suddenly remembered something. He slapped his forehead. Oh right. You're an artist signed under Elias's company. Noah's gaze dropped to the thermos in my hand, and he raised an eyebrow. What's that? Some soup. I answered perfunctorily, wanting to leave as soon as possible. Perfect. I haven't eaten yet. Noah licked his lips and naturally snatched the thermos from my hand. He opened the lid and started eating. This taste. Noah frowned slightly as if thinking, why does it taste so much like the one I ate in Elias's office last time? He practically begged me not to eat it back then. I rolled my eyes. Go ahead and eat. I'm leaving. But Noah blocked my way. He put the thermos on the hood of the car and said in a meaningful tone, Amelia, I know you still like me, but even so, you can't call me hubby in front of other people. I looked at him in astonishment, and my mind jumped to that day at the bar. So Noah thought my honey had been directed at him. Think whatever you want. After throwing out that sentence, I turned and walked away. Little did I know that in Noah's eyes, it looked like I was running away in embarrassment. Chapter 6. That night when Elias came home, the moment he stepped through the door, he wrapped me in his arms. He looked at me with a wronged expression. Honey, when are we going public? I can't wait even one more minute. What I can never resist most is Elias acting like this, and I had to hold back my laughter inside. This lifetime probably won't work, I said, pretending to sound sad. Huh? Elias lifted his eyes, his dark gaze fixed on me. Then let it be in the next life. In the next life. Go public with me. I was slightly surprised, but Elias added again. In the next life. We still have to be together. Elias intertwined his fingers with mine, and in his gentle eyes, my reflection was clearly visible. Oh, right. My assistant resigned because of some issues, so I'll probably be hiring a new assistant soon. I nodded and teased him with a smile. Then why don't you ask me whether I want to be your assistant? I don't want you to lose your dreams because of me. I love you, but you are free. Chapter 7. When Noah sent me a message, I was packing my luggage to go film in a neighboring province. His message was concise and direct. Make the soup from last time and bring it over. I immediately deleted the message, and while I was at it, I blocked Noah's phone number too. Then I boarded the plane and took off with a clear mind. When I'm filming, my greatest happiness is waiting until nightfall for the video call Elias makes to me. He holds our daughter and talks to me. I don't even know what exactly we talk about every day, but somehow we can keep talking for a very, very long time. Seeing them appear on the other end of the screen makes all my exhaustion seem to vanish at once. What I didn't expect was that I would run into Noah even in a neighboring province. He was surrounded by the director in the middle of a crowd, with the director ingratiatingly saying something to him non-stop. Noah walked forward expressionlessly. When his gaze landed on me, he stopped in his tracks and looked at me thoughtfully. The director was like a dog spotting meat, chattering away without pause. At last, a faint smile appeared on Noah's face, and he nodded in agreement. The sun had only just set when the unfinished filming was called to a halt by the director. He walked into my dressing room and told me there was a dinner gathering that evening and that I should make good use of the opportunity. I was about to refuse without a second thought, but the director said, "You know this is a big production. A lot of people want in and can't get in. If you don't seize the chance, then there's nothing I can do." I instantly understood what he meant. After a few seconds of silence, I nodded and agreed. A lot of the time, it looks as if we have many choices, but in truth, we have no right to choose at all. Life is like a raging sea. We are all being pushed forward by it, running, moving, or else being drowned. At 8 o'clock that evening, I arrived on time at the location the director had sent me. The moment I pushed open the private room door, I saw Noah sitting in the center. He raised an eyebrow at me, and malice surfaced in his eyes. The director arranged for me to sit beside him. I had only just taken my seat when Noah let out a light laugh and said, "No matter who it is, if they're late, they have to drink as punishment. 3 glasses minimum. Come on, let me pour for you." Noah filled the glass in front of me. When he noticed I was checking the time, he added, "Even 1 minute counts." I knew he was deliberately making things difficult for me. I glanced at him and drank the glass in one go. Everyone at the table was sharp. In an instant, they understood that Noah disliked me, so they began intentionally and unintentionally pushing drinks on me as well. One glass after another went down into my stomach. The alcohol rose to my head, and I staggered into the restroom, leaning over the toilet and retching. Physiological tears surged uncontrollably from my eyes. When I walked out of the restroom, Noah was standing outside. He leaned casually against the wall, watching me in this miserable state with amused interest. "This is the price for ignoring my message." Noah said it with complete seriousness. For them, something enough to ruin another person's life was nothing more than a prank. They turn around and forget it. While for the person who was hurt, every recollection becomes a fresh round of pain. Chapter 8. I do not know where Elias heard about it, but that very day, the director was replaced by someone else. That night, when I returned to the hotel, I had just swiped my card and entered the room when I saw Elias. I was a little surprised. "Why are you here?" Elias walked toward me with a pitiful expression. "You were bullied. Why didn't you tell me? Do you not trust me? Do you not care about me?" I could not help laughing a little. Where had that come from? "I didn't tell you because I was afraid you'd worry." Elias tightened the hand around my waist. "If you don't tell me, that's when I worry." "All right. I'll tell you next time." I planted a heavy kiss on Elias's cheek. Elias instantly straightened up, quickly pulled shut the curtains that had not been fully closed, and walked toward me while taking off his clothes. "Honey, I missed you so much." Elias stayed at the hotel for 3 days. On the 4th day, because I had a night scene and came back late, I had just gotten out of the car when I saw Elias standing outside. "Why are you outside? And dressed so lightly too?" But Elias ignored everything else and grabbed my hand. The cold touch traveled from my fingers straight into my heart and lungs. "Your phone was off." It was only a simple sentence from Elias, yet my eyes instantly stung with tears. I knew Elias was worried about me, but he was also unwilling to stop me from pursuing my dream. I slipped my arm through his with a grin. "Next time I'll bring a few extra power banks and make sure I can answer your calls." "You'd better." Elias wrapped an arm around my shoulders, and we walked back to the hotel together. On Elias's last day here, I deliberately cleared a few hours to spend with him. After the movie, we were both hungry, so we decided to go out to eat. But I never expected that even at a restaurant with excellent privacy, we would still run into Noah. Noah walked in with his friends, and at a glance, he saw me. Then he immediately saw Elias sitting across from me. He left his friends behind and strode over, his expression unreadable. "Since when did you two get so close? Sitting together having dinner and all?" Elias laughed lightly. "There are too many things you don't know about the 3 years you lost." Noah seemed to let out a sigh of relief. He sat down beside Elias and joked. "A friend told me he saw you at the hotel entrance with your arm around a long-haired beauty. I said whenever I asked you out before, you never came. So it turns out you've got someone you love now. So, did you win her over yet? Want me to teach you a few tricks for picking up girls?" Elias raised an eyebrow. His deep eyes looked toward me, then settled on Noah. "I'm already married to her." "Huh?" Noah froze in shock. "Seriously? Do I look like the kind of person who jokes about marriage?" Noah raised his hand and patted Elias on the shoulder. "Next time, bring me to meet my sister-in-law. I'll give you two a big red envelope." "Thanks." Elias smiled softly and naturally placed some food into my bowl. Chapter 9. 3 months later. Filming wrapped, and I hurried home without stopping for a moment. The first thing I did when I walked through the door was kiss my daughter Sophia several times. "Mommy missed you so much." "I missed Mommy too." Sophia threw herself into my arms, her little hands gripping tightly at my clothes. After resting for a while, I put on some soup to simmer. I planned to go to Elias's company and give him a surprise. But not only did I fail to surprise him, I nearly got the scare of my life instead. Before I could even push open the office door, I heard a woman's cloying voice from inside. Elias. I really like you. I'd do anything for you. Through the crack in the not quite closed door, I saw that woman half kneeling in front of Elias, with something like 2 hooks hidden in her eyes. I could hear my own heartbeat pounding like a drum, a tangle of complicated emotions twisting together. But before the woman's fingers could touch Elias's pants, Elias raised his hand and flung her aside, letting her fall hard to the floor. You're fired. Pack your things and leave before I lose my temper. Elias spoke coldly, with not a trace of warmth in his eyes. The woman scrambled up from the floor, covering her face as she cried, and shoved the door open. As she passed me, she shot me a vicious glare. I was innocent in all this too. Amelia, you're here. Why didn't you come in? Elias pulled me in from outside and took the thermos from my hand. What had just happened seemed like nothing more than an illusion to him. He leaned against me in an affectionate way. Honey, you're so good. You've already been so tired today, and you still made soup for me. I raised my hand and pinched his ear. I saw everything. You were so fierce just now. That's because my heart belongs only to you, my wife. Being with you still feels like a dream to me a lot of the time. Elias gripped my fingers tightly, his thumb lightly stroking the back of my hand. He lowered his head slightly, looking so forlorn that it made my heart ache. As autumn arrived, Elias and I welcomed the 4th anniversary of our marriage. I woke from a dream, and the first thing I saw when I opened my eyes was a huge bouquet of roses placed at the foot of the bed. Elias was lying on his side beside me and gently kissed my cheek. Good morning. Today is the 4th anniversary of our wedding. He placed a gift box, which he had prepared long ago, in front of me, his expression full of anticipation. See if you like it. Even though Elias gives me many gifts every year, I still could not help feeling excited. When I opened the box, inside was a necklace of dazzling, exquisite beauty. I love it. As long as it's from you, I love everything. Elias carefully fastened the necklace around my neck, then dropped a few more burning kisses there. Chapter 10. Noah's mother was an exceptionally gentle woman. When I was little, she would always give me lots of snacks. And during the time after my mother passed away, it was also she who comforted me and helped me walk out of my grief. What I remember most clearly is her sitting on the sofa in a dark dress, reading, while the sunlight fell at her feet as if even it were afraid of disturbing her. So when I got a call from Noah's mother asking me to come back, I had no reason to refuse. Time had left no trace on her at all. Her looks and temperament had never changed. I still liked talking with her very much. She could make you feel that no matter what happened, everything would eventually drift away like passing clouds. I just hadn't expected Noah to come back while we were eating. His yellow buzz cut had grown out quite a bit, the roots now replaced by black hair. During the meal, though, Noah kept glancing at me several times. I looked down at myself all over and felt nothing but bafflement. After the meal, Madam asked Noah to drive me home. Although Noah had a rebellious personality, he still listened to his mother. I hurriedly waved my hands and wanted to refuse, but Noah had already put on his coat. Let's go. Helpless, I could only follow Noah outside. Noah opened the car door for me so I could get in, but he did not drive off immediately. His gaze fell on me once again, just as I was about to ask what he was looking at. Noah leaned in and unclasped the necklace at my neck. He held it in his hand and examined it carefully. Why does this necklace look so much like the one from the last auction? Except that one was bought by Elias. Give it back to me. I reached out to snatch it, but Noah dodged my hand and, without a second thought, tossed the necklace out the car window. It's just a fake anyway. Next time I'll buy you a real one. Noah turned and smiled at me, his expression innocent and harmless, as if he were genuinely thinking of my best interests. The next second, Noah started the car and drove out of the garage. Stop the car, I shouted at him sharply, but Noah acted as though he had heard nothing. My anger, or even my shouting, meant so little to him. That necklace was a gift from Elias. It represented our stepping together into our 4th anniversary. Without thinking, I reached for the car door. Noah was startled and slammed on the brakes, his body pitching forward with the inertia. Are you crazy? Noah grabbed my arm, and for once, his face showed genuine panic. I didn't say a word. I only stared at him in silence. Perhaps the hatred in my eyes was too obvious, because Noah's gaze flickered and he raised a hand to cover my eyes. Don't look at me like that. I remained silent and didn't move. But Noah seemed to grow irritated. He lowered his hand. A vicious smile curved at the corner of his lips. I didn't throw away your necklace. It's right here. He opened his other hand, and there was my necklace in his palm. But before I could react, he tossed it out the window again. Then, under my shocked gaze, he opened his palm once more and told me that this time he had really thrown it away. If you like it so much, then go pick it up. That was the last sentence Noah left me with. After I stumbled out of the car, he drove off without looking back. The sun was beginning to sink westward, and rose-colored light spread across the earth. I crouched on the ground, searching carefully. In the end, I found it before the sun had fully set. I clutched the necklace tightly in my hand, suddenly seized by the urge to cry. Chapter 11. By the time Tanching aired, it received countless positive reviews. Soon after, we began participating in promotional tours and some commercial events. The day I left home, Elias stood at the door holding our daughter, his eyes full of reluctance. I kissed Elias on the cheek and then kissed my daughter too. It's not like I'm not coming back. Take good care of our daughter at home. Then when I miss you, can I come see you? Elias pressed. I smiled and nodded. Of course you can. You're my husband. The corners of Elias's lips instantly lifted, and the breeze stirred the hair on his forehead. So on the third day of the event tour, I saw Elias. He sat in the car with an innocent look on his face. You said it yourself. If I missed you, I could come see you. I rolled my eyes. I also said you should watch less TV at night and sleep more. Why don't you listen to that? Elias laughed and pulled me into his arms. I'm leaving in a little while. Just let me hold you. Why are you leaving in a little while? Elias lifted his head to look at me, his eyes shining. You can't bear to part with me, can you? I let out a cold little humph and said nothing more. Elias pulled me onto his lap, and while we lingered close together, the two of us ended up kissing, leaning against Elias's shoulder. I felt all the fatigue of the past few days vanish in that moment, as if my heart had found a shore where it could finally dock. For a moment, I wished time would stop right there. Elias raised his wrist to glance at his watch and let out a sigh. I still have a meeting to attend. I have to go. Reluctantly, Elias held onto my fingers, unwilling to leave. I laughed softly. I'll be home in a few days anyway. All right. I'm getting out now. I watched Elias drive away until his car disappeared at the end of the road. I turned to leave too, only to see Noah standing not far away, staring straight at me. Noah strode toward me, his voice carrying no discernible emotion. Who was that? What's your relationship with him? I looked back at him and said, exactly the kind of relationship you're thinking of. The fingers hanging at Noah's side clenched tightly, and then he suddenly let out a mocking laugh. When did you become this cheap? For a little bit of benefit, you can sell your body. I stared at him as a huge wave of sorrow swallowed me whole. No one is anyone else. No one has lived through what another has lived through or walked the road another has walked. He can get whatever he wants with ease and then casually sneer that it is nothing special. But some people can spend a lifetime without ever obtaining it. To them, it is like a fantasy, like a mirage. I nodded slowly twice, offering no defense at all. You only just realized? I've always been this kind of person. After saying that, I was about to walk past him, but Noah blocked my way and sharply called out my name, Amelia. I looked at him and asked what else he wanted. Noah's chest rose and fell violently. After a long pause, he finally forced out a sentence. How about this? I'll give you what you want. Stop ruining yourself like this. Those people aren't good people. Once they've had enough of you, they'll throw you away like trash. I shrugged and smiled brightly. Thank you, but I don't need it. I was just about to keep walking when Noah grabbed my arm. Why not? Can you really face your mother like this? The word mother struck straight into my heart. And you? On what grounds would you give me money? To keep me? To pity me? To feel sorry for me? Noah stared blankly at me, unable to get a full sentence out for a long while. I'm not. Not what? I did not keep listening. Chapter 12. As the drama Tanching reached its finale, its popularity also climbed to its highest point. As the second female lead, I was edited into clips and posted across major websites, which also let me taste a bit of fame. A few days later, I received an invitation for an interview. I gladly accepted. And in my heart, I also decided to take this opportunity to publicly announce that I was already married and had a daughter. When I told Elias about this idea, he was both delighted and worried. Why don't we wait a few more years to go public? Right now your career is on the rise, and going public will only hurt you. You don't need to worry about my feelings. Anything good for you is good for me. Elias did not say anything overly sentimental, but those few words alone were enough to move me. Being with him is the greatest happiness of my life. Elias's goodness toward me has never been just talk, and I ought to give him an answer too. He is my husband, now and always. It's settled then. On the day of the interview, bring our daughter with you. On the day of the interview, the first snow of that winter fell. From far away, I saw Elias sitting in the audience holding our daughter, and when I shifted my gaze, I also saw Noah. I had no idea how he had come, and I frowned slightly. I asked my assistant, and she told me that Noah was the investor behind this program. In other words, if Noah wanted to come, no one could stop him. When the time came, I adjusted my state of mind and slowly walked onto the stage. I saw Elias and our daughter applauding for me, their faces unable to hide their excitement. The host asked me many questions, my views on the character in the drama, my experiences on set, and so on. At the end came the interactive segment, where the host proposed that I call the person I loved most and see what the reaction would be on the other end. The moment that idea was suggested, the whole venue erupted with excitement. Noah looked at me with interest, lightly shaking his phone, whether intentionally or not. I smiled faintly. My phone screen was projected onto the big screen, and without any hesitation, I dialed a number. It rang only twice before being answered, and a pleasant male voice instantly came through. Honey, the baby and I love you too. The moment those words came out, all eyes focused on Elias, and the camera promptly cut to him and our daughter. Everyone present sucked in a sharp breath, as if they could hardly believe it, compared with Elias's excited expression. Noah's eyes were full of disbelief. You're married? The host asked at just the right moment. Yes, I'm married, and we also have a daughter. I paused, then added, I've always wanted to go public, and today I finally found the chance. When the interview ended, I felt immensely relieved. When Noah burst into the backstage area, Elias and I were holding each other. He was saying that I had been especially amazing today and had performed wonderfully. Noah looked at us, his voice trembling. You're together? You're married? How is that possible? What exactly was today supposed to be? Elias released me and firmly stepped in front of me. Noah, I'm sorry, I never told you, but Amelia and I have already been married for 4 years. Noah took a step back. He kept shaking his head, muttering, Impossible, impossible. I looked at Noah in silence, and he looked back at me the same way. So when you called someone husband last time, you were calling him? And that soup that time, it was all for him too? No wonder I thought the taste was familiar. Noah suddenly lunged at Elias and grabbed his collar hard, the veins in his neck standing out. We've been friends for so many years, and you never once told me you liked her. Elias calmly cut him off. Just because I never told you doesn't mean I didn't like her. From the very first moment, I had already chosen her. Noah, grow up. Elias held our daughter, took my hand, and left. Outside, the snow was falling harder and harder, and the footprints left behind were covered over in the blink of an eye. Sky and earth were both a vast expanse of white. Chapter 13. That very night, the news that I was married and had a daughter shot straight to the top of the trending searches. Most of the comments were congratulatory, though every now and then there were one or two saying that I was only with Elias for money, that this was the power of wealth. Some also said they had just discovered a treasure of an actress. So how had I already gotten married, and even cursed me to get divorced? Whenever Elias saw comments like that, he would switch to a burner account and argue back, you're the one who'll get divorced. Your whole family will get divorced. And when he saw long messages full of blessings, he would show them to me. Honey, look, they're blessing us. Yes, they are. At times like that, I would lean against Elias and listen to him read out those words of blessing for us. When our daughter woke up, we would either play with her or watch a little cartoon with her. But that night at dinner, I had no appetite at all, even though the dishes were my favorites. For some reason, just looking at them made me want to throw up. What's wrong? I shook my head, forcing myself to put a bite of food into my mouth. But the next second I gagged. A vague thought quietly surfaced in my heart. I lifted my head just in time to meet Elias's delighted expression. Honey, you're not pregnant, are you? I'm going to be a dad again. Elias came over and hugged me gently, then added, tomorrow we'll go to the hospital and get it checked. I'll go with you. I nodded lightly, my fingers unconsciously drifting to my belly. The next day we went to a private hospital, and the results came out that very day. I really was pregnant. Elias gripped the report tightly, while his other arm held me close. Honey, we're going to have another baby. What name should we choose? What should it be? I shook Elias's arm. No rush. There are still 8 months left. Plenty of time to think. After becoming pregnant, I started focusing on resting and taking care of the baby. Other than events I absolutely had to attend, I pushed everything else aside. I thought Noah would never appear in my life again, but I had still underestimated him. He stood downstairs in a black coat, clearly looking like he would not leave unless I came out. After not seeing him for a few days, he seemed much more worn down, his gaze filled with exhaustion and sorrow. Did you need something from me? Noah moved his lips as if he wanted to say something, but the cold wind poured into his throat and he suddenly broke into a hard cough. He stepped forward and held out his hand. In it lay a bracelet. Do you still remember it? I stared at the bracelet in his hand, countless thoughts turning through my mind. How could I possibly forget it? It was the birthday gift I gave him when I was 16. My lashes trembled as I said softly, whether I remember it or not. What difference does it make? Noah, don't blame Elias. I was the one who didn't let him make our marriage public. But Noah shook his head, his voice hoarse. Amelia, for the past few days, I've been thinking about one thing over and over. I've finally figured it out. Divorce him. I'm willing to marry you. I'll treat your child like my own. In those 3 years when I had amnesia, I always felt like something was missing. I was always searching. Only after I recovered my memory did I finally understand what it was I had lost. I was too childish, too concerned about saving face, too arrogant, even too selfish. I didn't dare admit that I liked you. Amelia, please give me one chance. Weren't I the one you loved most? I looked at Noah in silence, my heart as calm as still water. Noah, whether you like me or not, I will never divorce Elias. I let out a soft breath and added, liking you belongs to the past. Now I like Elias. I love him. Noah staggered half a step backward, and the cold wind stirred the hem of his coat. In that moment, he looked unbearably fragile. Chapter 14. After that day, Noah never came to bother me again. The next time I heard news about him, it was that he had been in another car accident. I went with Elias to visit him, and Elias asked his assistant what had happened. The assistant said that Noah had been standing by the roadside, looking down and fiddling with a bracelet. Somehow, the bracelet fell to the ground, and a gust of wind blew it away. Without thinking, Noah walked straight into the middle of the road to pick it up. Just then, a car happened to be coming, and that was how Noah got hit. Noah's leg was badly injured, and they said there was a high chance he would be left with a limp in the future. When I walked into the hospital room, Noah had already woken up. He smiled weakly at me. Amelia, do you still remember what my birthday wish was when I was 16? I avoided his gaze and did not answer that question. Recover well. Everything will get better. I'm sorry. That was the last thing Noah ever said to me. Without pausing, I closed the hospital room door. On the way home, with Elias driving, I looked out at the withered trees beyond the car window and thought of 16-year-old Noah and me. The 16-year-old Noah sat across from me and asked what I wanted most. I hesitated for a long time before finally saying that I wanted him not to abandon me, not to bully me, and not to forget me. Noah patted his chest and said that was too easy, that this year he would make exactly that wish. If I ever abandon Amelia, bully her, or forget her in the future, then let me become lame, or paralyzed, and spend my whole life in a wheelchair. Right after saying that, Noah blew out the candles and dug into the cake I had made for him by hand. I believe in the sincerity with which 16-year-old Noah said those words, and I also believe that time can change a person. Ahead of us, The traffic light turned red. Elias stopped the car and turned to look at me. He did not say anything. He only gently took hold of the fingers hanging at my side. After a moment, he said, "I know what we should name her. How about Luna?" I smiled and nodded. Of course that works. But I also think we could call her Emma. It means, "I miss you." A smile spread across Elias's lips. "You miss me that much?" "Yes. If I go a single day without seeing you, I miss you very, very much." We are often stingy when it comes to expressing love. But life is short, so we should love with all our hearts. The light turned green, and Elias started the car again, driving us toward our happiness.